Remember when I said this at the end of my Shadow the Hedgehog review?
However, I'd rather stick to Sonic Adventure instead.
Yeah, kinda wishing I could take that back right about now. So a few years ago I played Sonic Adventure for the first time. The game definitely had its flaws, but I managed to enjoy it for the most part. So going into this game I was kinda hyped actually, for lack of a better term. I'd heard so many good things about this game, and the gameplay I'd seen looked pretty good for the most part. But I really wasn't ready for how conflicting this game was really going to be. Welcome to Beating the Backlog, and today we're going to...
Sonic Adventure 2, more like Sonic Adventure 2, Bad Sonic Adventure 3 isn't coming out ever. up top. Okay. Hey guys, Steffi is here, and today I'm going to be carrying this review with my epic intellect on one of my, somehow, favorite games ever. The Chow Garden is like the best game to ever come out. I have over 500 hours clocked in, and overall it's just the best gaming experience you could ever ask for when looking for something to waste your time with. Also, Sonic Adventure 2 is kind of cool or whatever, so yeah.
Oh yeah, a guest star. My good friend Steffi will be joining me for this one, acting the yin to my yang, I suppose. So today we're going to be looking at Sonic Adventure 2, which I played on the Xbox 360. Let's go ahead and get started. Without spoiling too much, the plot to this game is pretty wacky, and it fits the Sonic franchise pretty well from my perspective. I haven't played a lot of Sonic games, but it does look alright. Essentially, Eggman is taking over the world with the help of some friends, and it's up to Sonic and Gang to stop him. I mean, that's really the basics there. That's all I can really say. The plot isn't terrible by any stretch.
Wow, Lo, are we really going to be forgetting the whole premise and marketing point of the whole game? Shadow the Hedgehog? Original character, do not steal. Created by Eggman's forgettable grandfather, Shadow is just really mean, because he thinks his purpose is to be mean. And so the story is basically about Sonic trying to stop Eggman and Shadow, original character, from blowing up the Earth with his Magnum Dong space station. I'll say that this plot point at the time was the most complex the Sonic series has ever gotten, with a full-on story arc for Shadow, and just all the backstory fuzz going on with his creation. It certainly isn't just about Eggman's usual hijinks. Well, I mean, it might as well be because the story wasn't perfect by any means, but still pretty diverse for a Sonic game, and a huge stepping stone for future Sonic games to try to outdo the edge that Sonic Adventure 2 had.
Now, the game tells this story in an interesting way. The game is split into two stories. You have the hero story, the dark story. Playing through both of these gives you the big picture of what's going on, and after completing them both, you unlock the final story, which shows the game's conclusion. The game reveals most of its story through incredibly weird cutscenes with some awkward voice acting and just atrocious sound mixing. Now, I can't tell if that latter issue is an issue with the Xbox version, or if the game has always been like that on every release. Each story has its own characters that you play as, although there are really just three different types of characters. You have the fast hedgehogs, you have the mech pilots, and you have the treasure hunters. Now, I found it nice that the game just had three character types, especially considering the first Sonic Adventure game, you had 6 characters who all played differently. That was pretty wacky.
The parallel between Hero and Dark is pretty cool, as they have their own side of the story to tell. It's fascinating to see what goes on the opposite side after you complete one side of the story. Whichever one you start on, the opposing storyline has its own creative perks. The tonal differences are vast as well, with Hero's side, of course, being the most lighthearted of the two, packed with Sonic's dumbass signature, I'm Sonic, and the pacing revolving around Tails or Knuckles being complete lardasses. Dark side, however, is very centered around Shadow's past, as mentioned before, alongside sexy piece of ass Rouge the Slut Bat being hot as hell, and Eggman working to piss on the Earth with the epic space colony. As the band of evil misfits, the situations they go through are much grittier than the Three Stooges over on Hero's side.
Now for the gameplay. Oh god, where do I start? How about Sonic and Shadow's levels? These were probably the best levels to play, but that doesn't mean they didn't have their faults. The actual level design was pretty satisfying most of the time, but there were some bits that just felt out of place. You had the asshole enemy placements, and it just kind of ruined the flow, kind of pissed me off. Sonic and Shadow control pretty well, almost identically to the first adventure game from what I remember, and Sonic gets a bounce bracelet that allows for some pretty satisfying movement.
Even though Shadow has like 4 levels, I feel like all of them are pretty fun to play in, especially Sky Rail. When you get the hang of rail grinding, that level goes hard. Of course, the more fun aspect of the game are short-lived.
Tails and Eggman piloted mechs in their levels, and these levels were rather frustrating for the most part. And they weren't necessarily difficult. If I'm being honest, no level in this game was really extraordinarily hard, but that doesn't mean it wasn't annoying. God, that fucking beeping noise, dude. The controls and gameplay were very similar to Gamma's in Sonic Adventure 1, so these stages like that, they were basically kind of shooting galleries with some slight platforming aspects, and those platforming aspects proved to be kind of annoying, because the mechs controlled really awkwardly.
I don't have much to say because honestly, screw these levels. Tails' level on the Ark is really the only exception, but oh my goodness, dude. Mission Street and the Pyramid one are god-awful. The same goes for Eggman's equivalent. Gamma deserved better than to have his mechanics tainted by two fat-ass Evangelion mechs.
The Treasure Hunter stages with Rouge and Knuckles were probably the worst, though. They play like scavenger hunts, basically the exact same as Knuckles and levels in Adventure 1, but motherfucker, these stages could be a huge pain in the ass. Okay, so not all these levels are absolute nightmares, but look me in the eyes and tell me that a level like Mad Space is acceptable. It's not.
Honestly, Mad Space is acceptable. When you get the hang of the whole gravity shtick, okay, I just said that to annoy Case, but even I can't bear to make anything positive about that Mario Galaxy ripoff level. Knuckles' version, however, is my favorite stage out of all the treasure hunting bits. The music as well. Is an absolute banger, and the level design is somewhat sporadic but enjoyable in the most homosexual way. I wouldn't say it's even guilty pleasure. This level is just nuts and I'm here for it. Let me check the time. Oh shit, it's Chow time! Chow Garden is essentially a pet side mode where you get to take care of these little shits for hours on end. Its main focus is to keep you playing Sonic Adventure 2 long after you're done with it. I can't speak for Lo, but man, did it work! There are so many mechanics and attributes to raising a Chow. It's insane how many different colors and shapes your Chow can come in. You can have a Sonic-looking Chow, a Shadow-looking Chow, and even a stupid-ass Chow, my personal favorite. Oh, and you can make them compete in the official Chow races, or make them fight to the fucking death in Chow Karate. You get toys and prizes and medals for completing races and battles, and the more shit you bring home from levels, the more stronger you can make your Chow. Oh yeah, and you can also throw your Chow around and abuse them if you like. Shit, did I say that out loud? Come on, Case, pack your stuff, we gotta go!
Everything else about the game is pretty similar to Adventure 1. You get hit, you lose your rings, you get hit without rings, you die. That's how Sonic's always been. There aren't any open world exploration bits like Adventure 1, which kinda suck, but the game does have the boss fights every now and then, and these are easily my least favorite parts. These fights are either super simple and boring, or incredibly janky and frustrating to get through, and they're just generally not fun at all.
Honestly, I can't think of a single boss that I actually enjoyed playing. Oh yeah, wait, there's that one where you get to... Oh wait, that's just Chow Karate. Never mind. I wish they put more time and care into these bosses, because the King Boo-ass boss and the rival fight's potential are just wasted due to half-assed mechanics. Actually, the King Boo fight is actually kind of fun? I don't know, I enjoyed it as a kid, and I really can't differentiate whether it's a good boss or a bad one.
Okay, can we stop for a second and talk about the Eggman/Tails boss fights, because I really need to get this off my chest. What the hell were they thinking with this one? No, seriously, you make us use the worst character type and put us in a 1v1 with no rings and expect this to be a fun fight. It's absolutely not. You have to get lucky, hope you don't take too much damage before the other character unleashes their massive fuck you beam and then spam shots at the enemy while tanking it. You gotta pray you outdamage the opponent before the fuck you beam fucks you up. It's seriously one of the worst boss fights I've ever played in gaming, and I played some pretty fucking bad ones. Whew. Anyway, I can't detest the game's graphics too much, because it was a 2001 game, and honestly it doesn't even look that bad. Everything is rather easy to discern and see, and really there's nothing to complain about in terms of visuals. The cutscenes are a little weird, but they are tolerable. The audio, as I said, can be mixed rather poorly at times, but thankfully the music that plays in these badly mixed cutscenes and the music that plays in the levels is super duper good. Like, Sonic has never really let me down in the soundtrack department, but this game, oh my god, it has such a killer OST. I'm gonna shut up before I start gushing too hard.
As a kid, my first experience with Sonic at all was City Escape. It was my first time hearing lyrics in a video game. My god, it was fantastic. I can't begin to describe with words how amazing it is to pop in Sonic Adventure 2 for the first time on hero mode. Sometimes you forget the game is just an ugly ass bowl of doo-doo butter. But as the little game said, Sonic always gets the music right, and we were blessed with such a memorable and fun soundtrack.
So overall, I'm super conflicted on Sonic Adventure 2. The game has some fun aspects, and if you're in the right mindset, you can have a really good time with it. However, it's far from the amazing gem people make it out to be all the time. It definitely has some problematic aspects, much like the first game, and honestly, some of these just can't be ignored. If you haven't played any Sonic Adventure game yet, I'd honestly recommend trying out the first game over this one if you haven't played it already, because I just found it to be the better game. But maybe I need to revisit that game and see if I'm viewing it with some rose-tinted glasses.
If Case is viewing it with rose-tentacle glasses, then I'm viewing it with nostalgia glasses. I can't bring myself to truly despise playing this game. With its music and overall early 2000s flair, I can't help but just come back to enjoy the game every time, like I did in simpler times. I'm mostly talking about Chow Garden though, but you get the point. I can certainly see all the flaws the game has, but when you let yourself enjoy the fun and stupidity of it, well, I guess you could say that that's just how you live and learn. Ay! And with that epic joke out of the way, I'll see myself out. Peace, motherfucker.
And I guess I gotta head out too. Thank you so much, Jake, for helping me out with this one. Be sure to check out his channel in the description. You will not regret it. And I'll see you all next time on Beating the Backlog.
Mm-hmm.